What's up, everybody? I'm Cedric Scott Jr., and this is the Catalyst Corner. I want to actually start by saying that this is something I've been planning to do for a while. I've been putting it off, but actually making it happen now. So I'm excited about it. And I want to dedicate this one actually to the custodial foreman that I used to work with at the school I last worked at in DC, who recently had a loss in their family. So much love sending out to you. And actually, that kind of prompted me to really think about what I wanted to address or go into in this first episode of the Catalyst Corner. And really, I thought about a story that I recently shared on LinkedIn, where I was dropping my son off at school. Actually, not dropping him off, but visiting the school before the school year started, which we're already in the swing of things with him for pre-K. And upon attending the school, we then kind of walked through the hallways. I met a few different people, some of the staff members, and I happened to come across one of the custodians, and I almost hugged her. Just being somebody who's worked in schools, had those experiences as a teacher, definitely in administration as an assistant principal. There's certain people that I will always just really always big up, and show love for whenever I see them, and just always shout them out. And the custodial staff is always one of them, including the cafeteria workers as well as the folks in the front office. Just invaluable work that they do. But yeah, I almost hugged the custodian just because I saw her and I found out who she was, and I was like, "Thank you. Your work is extremely important." Hopefully, she hears that often, and hopefully, anybody who is supporting schools in that manner, kind of behind the scenes, is also feeling appreciated, especially thinking about right now going back to school for a lot of our kids. It takes a lot to make those things run efficiently, and for a school to be a well-oiled machine. And not to take anything away from anybody who opts in for homeschooling or anything like that, but this is just based on that experience and my background there. I just wanted to highlight that. So definitely shout outs to all the custodial staff, all of those workers across the globe. If you work in a school in another country, I'm based in the U.S., but even there, just much love. And just kind of thinking about what's important. I'll keep this first episode kind of brief, just as we're getting started here. But some of the things that I'm going to really go into, of course, are my background in experience in education, upbringing, cultural things related to just my lifestyle, as well as some of the things I'm working on and producing and creating. Uh, One of the big things that I think a lot of people are really delving into right now that I'm for sure into is different technological things related to AI and all those things. So I'll share some thoughts and maybe some tools and resources even along the way on those things, and just really thinking about support, because the ultimate goal with creating the Catalyst Corner is the thought process and the reasoning behind even that name, calling it the Catalyst Corner, where we take that word catalyst, with my background being actually originally in chemistry, and considering what a catalyst means in a chemical reaction, to get a little bit nerdy for a minute, is this is something that really drives something to happen, right? Drives change, drives something to be more efficient, to happen at a more rapid rate. And I think that that's where we are with a lot of these things, is really understanding our role, wherever we can kind of fit into the mold, and what we can do to enhance situations. And for me, I've found that to be true in education and sharing different resources, creating content material, things like melanated mathematics, edu hustle. So that's what it's all about, and continue to look forward to that. But again, I'd be remiss if I didn't, kind of harp on showing love for the folks who are really doing a lot of the grunge work. Again, going back to hugging a custodian, the teachers out there, and even, really, showing some love to parents, guardians. I think about like my grandma, everything is, there's a lot of people who propel us to get to where we are. And although some of us might truly believe completely that we are self-made. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that notion, because I think that there was always somebody at some point who, lent a helping hand or provided, support or some type of resource or something. I don't necessarily know, of anybody that got to where they are in life, especially, anyone who has amassed, any type of, what they would deem as success, without the support and the assistance, guidance of somebody else, whether that's, a family member, a community member, so on and so forth, right? I think that everybody kind of has somebody that they can point to and say, you know what, that person really looked out. And two people that I actually kind of think about outside of my parents, of course, much love to my father, and rest in peace to my mom. And I think back to just being in school, especially being a young black man. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and two teachers that I had, especially really, really stood out. The first teacher was a science teacher that I had early on in schooling, by the name of Mr. Preston. Interestingly enough, he retired after 31 years, as I was going into teaching for my first year, which was kind of cool. We were able to kind of sit down and chop it up about that. So he was amazing and really supported me in my efforts and my passions to pursue science, for one, which I think is no coincidence for me going into, chemistry or that field and being really engaged in it, um, at any point in my life. But then also when I got to 10th grade, my chemistry teacher, go figure, I had AP chemistry with Mr. Bynum, another black man, awesome teacher, a great community member who really poured into all of his students, including myself. And at that point, I knew that I wanted to pursue chemistry as my major. So I definitely wanted to shout them out, as those people who I think helped guide and catapult me to where I am, and to be able to look back and think about those experiences, those just those times that that we had, at that point coming up. It's really important to reflect and pay homage and be respectful. So in doing that, lift up those catalysts, because without them, we wouldn't be the catalyst that we are today, and be able to support other people and do some of those same things. So I want everybody to really consider that going forward. Who were the catalysts in your life that helped you become the catalyst that you are? That's the real big question that we're thinking about. And I think with that, I'll see you all next time and look forward to catching you again in the Catalyst Corner.